Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to episode 4 of Chatting Up a Storm. Thank you so much for stopping in. We have an amazing show for you tonight. A first for the show, our first live musical performance with one of my very good friends who I've known for, it's probably 5-6 years at this point. We've done charity streams together. We've done Dark Souls challenge runs together. We've been to, 10 conferences together. He's just a really good friend, and we're here to discuss not just how amazing of a guy he is, but how amazing of a musician he is. He has his new album, The Old Blood, which dropped on the 28th, and I have the pleasure of being joined by my very good friend, Mahn. Mahn, my friend, how you doing? Look at you.
I'm less miserable.
How's it going, man? How's everything?
I'm doing great, dude. It's been there's just been a super outpouring of support and just kind comments from yourself and many others about the release of the album, and we're definitely going to talk more about it. But it was just a big journey that encompassed probably over a year of planning and thought and work and just heart-pounding creative process. And yes, I'm super excited to talk about it. And of course, yes, as you mentioned, I am super excited to play a song for everybody from that new album. So yes, thank you again for having me, sir.
Of course, it's great. It's good, sir. Jeez, we're getting all official now. It's really good to talk to you. Mon and I have known each other for a very long time. He's one of my closest friends. Not just on the platform, but also off the platform. Even before I moved, Mon was one of the last people I said goodbye to before I left the great state of Virginia. So it's good to see your face. I know a lot of people have missed you on Twitch, and I really appreciate you joining us on the show. So before we get into the album, and this is something that not a lot of people might know. I know the story. However, for those that are listening, whether it be on Spotify, watching on YouTube, wherever it might be later on, how did you get started in content creation? How did you get started on Twitch?
Okay, so yeah, I think that's a good logical place to start. I don't remember what brought me to Twitch to begin with. Oh no, actually I do remember. It was a good friend of mine used to stream in support of Extra Life. So when I saw that, I was inspired and I wanted to become a part of it. And that eventually led me to start streaming maybe in 2016 or so. I think that sounds about right. And I was exclusively at that time a Bloodborne content creator. That was all I streamed. I loved playing the game. I loved the PvP. I would wake up super early every morning just to stream for a couple hours before I went to work, and I was hooked. And I started making friends. And oh yeah, just a quick sidebar. It's kind of a bummer to hear that PAX South is no longer continuing.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I wanted to mention that because that was the first time after I started streaming that I met a lot of people on Twitch that I had kind of formed relationships with through Twitch. So that's obviously that's a kind of a bummer, but a lot of good memories from PAX South. Now, the one thing I couldn't quite remember though was how you and I met. I know I found your stream first, and I don't remember if it was through a mutual streamer or maybe a mutual friend or something, but I found your stream, and then it was just a complete coincidence later that I found out that you lived like 45 minutes away from me. So
I want to say it was Cheese. It might have been Cheese.
And that would not surprise me because Cheese has a tendency to introduce streamers to each other.
That's true.
I've met obviously a lot of other streamers through Cheese. So let's just give Cheese credit for that.
That's fine.
We'll just go with that.
That's fine. I'm good with that.
So anyway, I kind of rode the wave of streaming, but then in 2017 roughly, I had to call it quits. I wasn't sure if I was going to call it quits, but I had to stop because my life just became too busy. And I was in the middle of a giant move and just a lot of personal stuff going on. So then I had the intention of coming back, but around the time that I was like starting, where I was getting to that point, I was really investing a lot more of my time in my music and especially learning how to record and produce music. So I've been playing guitar since I was 14. And but like that was like the first time that I really tried to put pen to paper, so to speak, when it came to recording my own music. So we can talk about that arc a little bit. But as far as content creation goes, like I haven't been back to Twitch obviously, but I've been focusing my efforts for the most part on my music. So I have obviously, yes, thank you for plugging the album The Old Blood, which is a Bloodborne concept album. We'll be talking about that quite a bit. So that's my new release, came out 2 days ago, but I've also released another album called Spears and Hammers, which I consider kind of my real. There it is. Thank you.
I have a signed
I
copy.
consider that my real. I did an EP first. It was just 6 tracks, and it was kind of like just trying to figure out if this was a thing and I could actually do it. But thank you for holding that up.
Yeah.
I consider Spears and Hammers like my first real entry into the VGM, the video game music scene. But then ever since then, I've done 2 more EPs and a single, and now I have a second album, which I am extremely proud of.
Yeah, which, speaking of which, for those that have watched the stream over the years, song number 3 off of Spears and Hammers is our sub song. I happen to had been honored enough to be invited to play the drums for songs 3 and 4, Storms and 7 Years, and that was just a lot of fun. And actually, I think, there you go, exclamation point Storms. You can watch the video. You can get the song for free. Although I do definitely recommend supporting this good man. And we'll talk about how you can do that later on too. But yeah, I mean, I'm just about to say, like, your focus right now has just been on the music and everything that you've come out with. Spears and Hammers, World Warriors, it's been fantastic, and I have listened to The Old Blood probably like 5 or 6 times through. It's got me through my workday. It's outstanding music. Every song is unbelievable, and when you all see the live performance tonight, your jaw's gonna drop, because not just the music quality, but even just the transitions and everything he's worked up. It's really, really good. So thank you for being here.
We won't spoil that too much, but I think
Yeah.
one thing that we can both say is and I think why you and I relate to each other so well is that we focus very intently on the quality of our content. And obviously I think the album that I just put out is a testament to that. But some of the stuff that you'll see in the live performance is they're things I haven't done before, but I think there's some pretty neat tech behind it, and it definitely opens up the door for a lot of other ideas I have in my head as far as doing live performances. And we'll probably talk about that towards the end.
Absolutely.
What's next after the release of this album, and being on your show and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and this was a year where I said to myself I was going to put myself out there more. I've been putting my music out there for 4 or 5 years, but like I've never really tried. I didn't really self promote that much. Like it doesn't. It's kind of awkward for me, and I could be pretty self critical. But I said at the beginning of the year, no matter what happens, like I'm going to try to put myself out there more. And right now, obviously, I'm kind of riding this wave where I've put out something where I'm proud of it, but I've just had a lot of people reach out to me either in person or just through chats and just regular just chatter on social media, just saying that it's really good, and I truly believe it. So, and when you said that. Like every song is amazing. I was I was listening through the whole thing when it was done. I was like, this slaps. Like this album
Yes, it
slaps.
does. It really does. When I was listening to the Lady Maria soundtrack, which, this beautiful woman right behind me, I was sitting on the couch right here, and I was staring at the display. It was great. It was great.
So, not to go too far down this rabbit hole, but
Sure.
There was a point where I was working on the album and I had to like pick the songs that I didn't want to cover because there's so many songs on the soundtrack that are so good. And I didn't want to just like, keep going and going and going because the album would get too long and I'd run out of time, because I wanted to get it out by October because, spooky stuff. But Lady Maria was obviously on my radar. And now I think in the Soulsborne world or the among Bloodborne fandom, Lady Maria is like there's a lot of fandom just for Lady Maria. Like when you look at fan art, and especially if you just follow Bloodborne as a topic on Twitter, like you see Lady Maria art all the time. Like people love Lady Maria. So when I said to myself, it's like if I'm going to do this song, I have to do it right. And that was one that really beat me up pretty hard because it's a complicated arrangement. When I first, I remember the song from when I played the game, but then when I started listening to it over and over, trying to figure out like how am I going to cover this, it was really challenging because there's at least the first few times I listened to it, I was like, I can't figure out what the melody is, like where, and it changes a few times, and which makes sense because the boss fight is super epic, and there's like I think there's 3 phases of the Lady Maria boss fight, and it changes up a little bit. So yeah, that was one of the tougher ones to do. It would also be one of the tougher ones to perform because it's complicated. Spoiler: I'm not going to be performing that one. So
No, but the song that we'll give you a chance to discuss what you're going to be playing, the name of the song, and all that, in just a little bit. But before we do that, I think just from a musician standpoint, as a fellow musician, I would love to know who your influences were, because obviously you have to have a bunch to get you to this point. So who were they, and why they meant so
yeah,
much to you?
yeah, good question. So obviously, if you don't know already, and maybe just by the getup, I'm a metalhead. So I'm heavily influenced by metal bands. I grew up listening to thrash metal bands like Metallica and Megadeth. So when it came to this album, I would like to think that probably every major influence I've ever had made their way into that album somewhere. So like there's definitely some thrashy stuff that is like reminiscent of Lamb of God. Yeah, I mentioned Megadeth already. There's like a solo section in one song that just reminds me of Megadeth. I've been listening to a lot of Gojira over the past 2 or 3 years, and so a lot of Gojira. There was one song where it really felt like Typo Negative, and I didn't mean for it to be that way. It just kind of happened. It was like that was a lullaby for Murgo. So I'm working on a lullaby for Murgo. Where, by the way, hold on. Yeah, so this is I mean, yeah, I play guitar, but this is my trusty toy xylophone, which I use for Lullaby for Murgo.
And I saw
So
that it was
yeah,
very, very good.
this thing is great, and it's just when you record this thing and you put like the right effects on it, like some reverb and delay, it sounds very haunting. So it's just that's what I love about music. Like there's really no creative boundaries to this stuff. So,
It
but yeah,
shows.
to kind of go back to your question, yeah, I would say though, Opeth. Opeth is another. If you haven't heard of Opeth, they're like a progressive death metal band out of Sweden. They like to mix up obviously a lot of death metal, but then also some real like really awesome sounding clean stuff. And I would say that group probably influenced this album the most.
Gotcha. And even the album work. I mean, if I know you have a copy there. Unfortunately, mine didn't get in the mail, so I don't physically have it in my hands. My guess it'll be here Monday. But the album work, if you all haven't seen this, it's beautiful, beautiful work. As soon as there you go. Mahn the Old Blood, Bloodborne concept album. Which, by the way, Mahn is it's gorgeous. Mahn is generously giving away 2 copies of this album. If you want a chance to win it, exclamation point Mahn in chat, MAHN, exclamation point MAHN in chat. If you have a chance to win it, we'll pull 2 winners at the end of the stream. Also, if you want to pick up the album for yourself, you can do so at theoldblood.com, exclamation point BB for Bloodborne in chat, and you can get your hands on it too, which I will definitely be mentioning. But the album art is fantastic. I know we were talking about this briefly before in our little pre-show where we were getting everything ready, but the album looks beautiful just as much as it sounds beautiful. So thanks for
Yeah.
for sharing it.
Yeah. So one thing I'll mention is I've worked with this artist many times for my previous projects and albums and EPs and stuff. He's not a gamer. He's not into video game music, but that actually didn't really matter. All I really had to do was just kind of give him the right reference and right direction. Which and beside like the artist, I'm not sure where he's based out of, but like English is a second language, and once we kind of got over the language barrier, like everything just clicked. And this was years ago. Luckily, we had worked together so many times. When I came to give him this project, I was like, here it is, and I also happened to mention I was like, this is a big deal, so put all your energy into this one. So just very quick, the front is Lawrence. If anybody's played lore, we don't have the time to go through all the lore of the game, but this is Lawrence, who's one of the pivotal characters of the game. He's in his beast form here because he succumbed to the old blood. And then the inside is the balcony that overlooks the Moon Lake at Bergenworth. And obviously the CD is I think it's reminiscent of one of the rooms in the game. This was a last minute thing. I was like, what do I put on the CD? I was like, okay, there's a list of runes. We'll just put that on there. And then the last thing on the back is Lawrence's beast hand holding the eye pendant.
unbelievable work. It's really, really good. And thankfully, we're going to be able to hear one of these songs live in just a moment because, well, I think it's about that time. So what song
About
are you
that time,
playing?
chap.
What song are you playing? And tell us about why this song and why you chose to perform this one in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to be playing, this is the 7th track off the album, Cleric Beast. And the reason why I picked, there's a few reasons why I picked this one. One, I really like the solo in it. And like, this was an album where I said to myself, I don't need to like show off my virtuosity. Like, I've done that. I've done that before, and like I'm kind of past that phase in my life where it's like I just need to like play as fast as possible and just shred the hell out of the guitar. And there's some room for that in the album, but in this song, like even though it has a pretty simple solo section, I actually really like it. Like sometimes less is more, and this was definitely the case. And there, I think I'm going to stop there because if I was going to say something else, but then it'll spoil a part of the song. So I maybe we'll come back to this topic.
We'll talk
of why I
about
chose
that
this
after.
one.
Absolutely.
But yes, this is the one that I've chosen to perform for you guys.
Sounds great. Are you all set?
I'm all set, so I will hop out of Discord and I
Sounds
will
good.
see you on the other side.
Sounds good, my friend.
All right, see ya.
Okay, everyone. So while Mahn gets set up, again, he's going to be performing the Cleric Beast off of his album, The Old Blood. I'm going to give him about 60 seconds or so. I'll flip over and we'll hear his great work. And I've seen this run through about 3 or 4 times already. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So I'm going to wait for the go-ahead to get us switched over to see this live. And thanks again for being here. Again, you want to copy this album for yourself, you can do so by !MAHN, chance to win it, or go to theoldblood.com, !BB to get the link. Totally worth it. I might buy 3 more copies and we might just give them away myself. So I'm going to switch on over to the musical guest scene and we'll get this underway. So I hope you enjoy it. Just give us a few seconds and you'll see this here momentarily. Oh my god. It's just I've seen it like a half a dozen times, and it just gets better and better. Mahn will jump in the call again here in a second. Oh my god. I might have to adjust some video stuff on my end, but can we get like a round of applause for this man? That's all live. All the transition. We'll talk about all this. That's all live. That's the 7th song off his new album, The Old Blood, Cleric Beast, and the rest of the album is just as epic. It's really, really, really good. So we'll have him back on the call here in just a minute. We'll talk about the performance. We'll talk about the album more. And let me just make sure that the audio's and everything's set up before we swap back over. Should be good. Mahn, can you hear us? I think you might actually be... Let's see.
Now you can probably hear me.
Now I can probably hear you. Let's flip back over here. Dude, that was awesome. That was
Thank you
awesome.
so much, and so much good energy in the chat. Thank you, everybody. Man, well, I was looking at my laptop when just kind of peeking at it just to see what was happening in chat, but just making sure nobody was screaming at me saying something is wrong. but like all the animated emotes don't show up on my laptop, and now I'm looking at it on my PC, and like it's just like this wall of animated emotes. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. So
that was perfect.
Yeah, thank you. So to go back to your question from before, why did I pick that song? So yes, the solo section, obviously, but I feel, well, there's that vocal section in the middle, which I think probably threw some people off, which was the intent. Like, what this is, I do video game music. Like, who does vocals for video game music? They exist out there. But like to do that scene with all, myself, like kind of surrounded, I was like, oh, I want to do that. And then the last thing was, I feel the outro of that song just crushes. Like, it's just
very good.
I thought about, like, I need a song where it's just like you just get pounded in the chest over and over, and that was that was why I picked that song.
It was like the Bloodborne Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna let everybody in on a little secret. I should probably do this now. There's a guy named Chris Doty, who is he's a keyboardist in a video game in VGM band called the Runaway 4, and they're all amazing, super cool guys. And I was referred to him by the person who's pretty much mentored me through the years about when it comes to audio production and mixing and things like that. And he said, "Hey, did you know Chris can do choir vocals?" And I connected with Chris and I said, "Hey, I've got these songs. They're already arranged. I've already recorded all the choir vocals already between myself. Eric is the guy who did the mastering on this. He's like my mentor and my sensei. He already did some choir vocals, and then my buddy Charles. So it was the three of us at that point. And Chris is an experienced choir vocalist. And when he gave me his vocals, I was like, okay, this is amazing. And I pushed everybody else down. I pushed everybody else down in the mix, and I put Chris at the top. So the truth is, when you see videos of me like in that performance, it's really him. Like, I am in there, and obviously I kind of did my own vocals there too, but they don't match what he can do. And he really brought the album to another level, and I couldn't thank Eric enough for referring me. So while we're on the same vein, and yes, I'm babbling, but there were fine. There were many people involved in the making of this album. Terracy Music, who is she's a Twitch streamer, but she's mostly on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
She's classically trained. She plays violin. She does really, really awesome vocals. When I got done with the arrangements of these songs, I figured out, I was like, I need somebody who can play violin, and I need a female solo vocalist. She does both. I hit her up. Within a day, she was like, yep, I'm on board. And at the beginning, the very last song, there is almost at the very end of the album, there's a very high note that the vocalist has to hit. And I said to her, can you hit a C6? And when she responded to me, she said, I can hit a D6. So that was her way of telling me, here, hold my beer. So, and then she sent me all the vocals back, and they were great raw. But then when I put them in the mix, everything sounded amazing. And then I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I talked about the artist. I didn't mention his name though. His name is Suck Zero. You can look him up on 99 Designs. And I hope I got everybody. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. So this was obviously, this was a larger scale project for me, but there were more people involved um, in this project than previous ones. Sometimes, like in previous projects, it was just me, or maybe I'd bring in one guest. But yeah, there were so many people that I got involved in this, and it was as proud of I am of this project. Like without them, it wouldn't be as good as it is, in my opinion. So.
The music is incredible, and even that it's an understatement. So thanks again for being here and for performing that, because it was extraordinary. And I've seen it in practice like 6 times, and my jaw was, you obviously you couldn't see me, but my jaw was open like the entire time. It was really great.
Yeah, so about some of the other stuff that you saw in there, like with the camera switching and the lights changing,
Mhm.
and like the part that I like. Well, there's a lot of stuff that I like in it, but there's the part where you hear the bass drop, and then the scene just cuts to black, and then it comes back. So all that stuff is pre-programmed. Like, yes, I played it live, but I figured out how to program all of that stuff. So
Which I didn't
now
even
I'm
know you
like
could
thinking of
do.
yeah, so I'm actually going to do a video in this. I'm going to do an instructional
Please
video.
do.
I'll throw it up on YouTube to
Yeah.
explain how I did it. And I have so many now that I figured this out, like I have so many other ideas. It's like, okay, I need more cameras. Like I'm gonna put more cameras in here, so I have more stuff to switch to. And these are Philips Hue lights,
Oh, I
and
love those.
for yeah, I mean they're pretty awesome, but like I think I need stuff that is like more flashy and just like is a little more in your face. So yeah, that's research for another time. But anyway, I spent a little over a week coming up with the tech to figure out how to do this live performance, and I really, really want to share it with people, because especially those people in the BGM community, or anybody who performs live in a like in a stream, because I think that kind of knowledge can really it can kind of up your game, and people always say that it's like when you're in content creation, you always have to figure out up your game, and sometimes like that kind of stuff can be tribal knowledge, and I don't want it to be tribal knowledge. Like I want to share this with people, so that'll be one of the things I'll be working on going into next month, is just an instructional video to show how I did the tech for all this.
Good. I mean, I eventually want to bring drumming to the stream, so hopefully I'll be able to take that tech and use it. So that'd be very helpful to, I guess, the content creation music as a whole. So thanks for being
So
to share that with
while
us.
we're on the topic of drumming, maybe we can
Uh-huh.
talk about that a little bit, huh?
Oh, go on.
Yeah, so I know you've already said it, but you and I have worked together on 2
We
songs,
have.
and Storms. I think everybody in your chat knows Storms because they hear it all the time, right?
Yep.
That is one of my personal favorites
Oh, what a
of songs
coincidence! Mine
that,
too.
that I've arranged. Yeah, why not? But no, I mean seriously, objectively speaking, like it is one of my favorites. Like I think I was on the subway somewhere on the West Coast, like traveling for work or something, and I was just thinking in my head, I was like, this is what I want this song to sound like. And then I obviously I brought you in, and we worked on that, and yeah, I love that arrangement. It's super fun to play, and then obviously we did 7 years together, and yeah, I hope you figure out the drumming. I know I said to myself that we would nerd out a little bit about time signatures.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
on the Bloodborne album, a lot of the songs are in 6/8.
Okay.
There's not a lot of 4/4 in those songs. It's
I
a
didn't
lot of
hear a lot of
6/8.
4/4. Yeah.
Yeah, but well, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. There's one song that's 5/4. Do you know which one it is?
Oh gosh, I don't remember off the top of my head. You're gonna have to tell me. I won't know.
Okay, it's Bloodstar Beast.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and
I'll have to
so
re-listen to
Bloodstar
it
Beast.
again.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when I was trying to figure out how to arrange that, I was like, "What time signature is this in?" Like, you have to figure that out if you're gonna like transcribe music, and especially when you do a cover, like you need some kind of idea what it is. And um, and I was like, I start counting. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this 4/4? No. Is it 6? No. Is it 5? No. Oh wait, it is 5. It's 5. It's 5/4. So 5/4 is actually a super cool time signature because it's like kind of weird and unsettling, and that song itself is weird and unsettling. Like there's a lot of dissonance in it, and in my opinion, it's that this is just my opinion, but it's in my opinion, it's the heaviest song on the album,
Sounds like
and a
it.
lot of that is it just is attributed to the weird the 5/4 time signature and just like all the dissonance and the weirdness in it. So yeah, that and I think there's a Kingdom Hearts song that comes to my head too. That's in 5/4. It's like I'm sure there's people in the chat who are going to correct me on this, or are just more knowledgeable about Kingdom Hearts. But I remember there in the first Kingdom Hearts, the original one, like you're ascending one of the towers and there's a song playing. You know, it's like really haunting. It's in 5/4, so like 5/4 is like the perfect time signature for like, you know, kind of haunting over like weird, unsettling music.
It definitely has that. Well, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of that in Bloodborne as a whole, and it's really the whole theme of the game to be unsettling. So, it reflects in the music quite well.
Yeah.
So chat. Here's what we're gonna do. We've been talking about the album a lot, and again, if you want to win a copy of this for yourself, Mahn's giving away 2 copies. ! Mahn MAHN in chat. You want a chance to win it? Highly recommend it. Or you can pick up the album for yourself! BB for Bloodborne, where you can visit Bandcamp and see all the music. But we're gonna go on.
I'm sorry.
No.
One quick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing giveaways of the CDs.
Yes.
And if you buy a CD or you win a CD, you'll get the digital copy too. So
Even better.
I think most people buy the CDs just to have the artwork. Like the only CD player I have is the one on my car. Like but like, just so everybody knows, if you buy the physical CD or you happen to win one, you will get a digital copy. So
That's even better.
Don't feel like you need to go find a CD player if you get your hands on one of these.
There you go. That's a very good point. Thank you for mentioning that. We're gonna have a little fun with Mahn now, because it's just about that time. Yeah, I've talked about this with Mahn a little bit. This is our 4th episode. I'm excited to see what Mahn does, but it is time for save or delete. Now, if you don't know what save or delete is, well, you've been missing out. So essentially, what Mahn is going to be doing is playing video game Tinder. That's really the best explanation I've been able to come up with. And Mahn is going to see a set of random characters that's different for everyone. And what Mahn's going to have to do is swipe either left or right. He can use the arrow keys on his keyboard. He can use A or D. He can swipe with his mouse, whatever makes him happy. But he's going to have 2 minutes to swipe either left or right on the characters, and we will absolutely be discussing it after the fact. So, Mahn, do you have any questions at all whatsoever before we jump into this?
I don't think so. When I saw you do this with cheese, I was super entertained. And I was like, am I going to get to play this someday? And I was like, It's like, I don't know, what characters could show up? And Scruffy say, like, in before swipe right on Lady Maria. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I mean, if
she's in there.
If Lady Maria shows up in here, it's gonna be a question of not whether I swipe right. It's gonna be a question of how long it's gonna take me to swipe right.
Well, at least we have the honesty right up front. That's good to know. All right, so we'll hit play here, and I'll just let you talk this out, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. All right, here we go. Oh, this should be good. Here we go.
Oh, Garrett, swipe right. Oh yeah, like calibrations. Garrett, swipe right. Yep, let's go. Nadine Ross. I don't know who Nadine Ross is. No, she looks like a badass, so that's gonna be another swipe right. These gonna be all swipe rights? Yeah, probably. Ganon. Ooh. I mean, he's not really doing much for me in the looks category. But I mean, if you had him like as a minion. I think if you had him as a minion or something, like he could do. I'm gonna go left on Ganon. Ponme, yeah, that's all right. Childhood crush, same thing as what she said. Now, yep. Kirby. Okay, this is an interesting one. Kirby. Okay, so I shouldn't overthink this, but like Kirby just eats. Yeah, Kirby eats stuff and just could be high maintenance, so that's a Batman. Kind of a dark, broody dude. I mean, yeah, he's super cool, but I'm gonna go left with Batman. I'm just gonna go with my gut there. Miss Pac-Man. Yeah, that's all right. One of the Namco originals. Hanzo.
Kind of looks like you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm showing my ignorance. I'm not sure who Hanzo is. Overwatch. Yeah, I will admit I never played Overwatch.
That's all right.
He's pretty cool looking, and he looks like me, so why not? We're gonna swipe right there. Liara, oh yeah, that was my first romance option in Mass Effect. I think she said the same thing. We're on the same page, so that is a swipe right. Gordon Freeman. Yeah, he's not much of a talker. Swipe left. Handsome Jack. Oh man, yeah, that's a swipe left. I mean, yeah, he's a cool looking dude, but he's just kind of a butt. Triss, yes, Triss was all the way.
God.
In The Witcher, Triss. I am Team Triss.
17 seconds.
Yes. Oh, Danky Kang. Yeah. He's yeah. That's a swipe right. BJ. Don't recognize.
Blazkowicz.
From Wolfenstein.
Yep.
Is that from Wolfenstein?
Two,
Yeah, it's a swipe right.
one,
love it. One
Claptrap.
Claptrap. Swipe right.
Oh, that was a quick
swipe
one.
Right on Claptrap.
All right, so first of all, this has been a very interesting episode, and we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about because you have swiped the least amount of characters than any other person we've had on before you. However, you've gone into depth more than anyone else before you. So
I was. I guess
quality
if I spent
over
5
quantity.
seconds on. Yeah, 5 seconds on one was too long, I guess.
Well, I mean, hey, everybody's going to be different. That's what makes it so interesting.
Look, from my perspective, you could be a little picky when it comes to video game characters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm getting some heat from the chat about deleting Kirby, and my rationale there was like he's just going to eat stuff. I mean, that could be a lot of money.
It could be a lot of money. It never said you have to pay for it, but then at the same time, it could happen.
So you know what? Since there was only 1 second left, I swiped right on Claptrap, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
I really don't know why.
Well, I love Claptrap. I think he's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's a super entertaining character, but he's also kind of irritating. But I swiped right, so I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay.
I mean, it was just yeah.
That's fair. All right, so then here's one of the ultimate questions. You've chosen 3, 6, 9, 11. Good number. You chose to save 11. Now you can only choose one of those 11. Who are you saving? Everybody else gets trashed.
Yeah. Okay. I think in my head I'm thinking this through, and I think I know, but I'm gonna think about this a little more. So I know Cheese picked Padme,
Yes.
and she's definitely top 3, but
Okay.
not 1. So we're gonna eliminate Padme from the top. Yeah, I think Liara is a strong contender too, just because the my first romance option in Mass Effect. I'm gonna go with Triss.
Triss.
Yeah, and by the way, I only,
Really?
and I think I told you this. I think when I last saw you in person was I only played Witcher 3 for it was on my only Witcher game I ever played, but the first time I played it was last year. So obviously I'm way behind, and I loved it. I mean, Witcher 3 is amazing, but like I was simping pretty hard for Triss. I'm just gonna get that out there. So Triss.
That's okay. I'm
Oh,
surprised.
and yeah, hey, what's up, Rashid in chat? And he agrees with me. Okay.
I mean, if Yennefer was there, I would have chose Yennefer over Triss, but that's a whole other conversation.
No, okay, so we I think I can't remember if I talked to you about this too, but there's that oh god, I'm so bad at this. There's Kaer Morhen. When you're there and there's gonna be the big fight coming up, and it's the night before, and Yennefer like starts walking away, and basically like if you go after her, then things happen. Good things happen to you with the unicorn involved. But I picked the option to just hang with the boys and drink. So what does that tell you?
Well, yeah, that explains quite a bit.
But I mean, the other thing was I actually was not a fan of Yennefer. I was Team Triss all the way. I was like, Yennefer's like going up the stairs, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just gonna sit here and get drunk.
We have an honest man here. That's okay.
And it seems you're getting rated right now. What's up, Raiders?
Super Anthony, thank you so much for bringing everybody over. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing
Super
well.
Anthony, thanks for bringing everybody over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just the guest here, but hello.
Yeah, this game's great. We're gonna actually talk about Super Anthony a little bit later on, believe it or not.
Okay, at least some of the chat agrees me about Triss. Actually,
Yeah.
quite a few of the team agrees with me about Triss. So, all the way. And there was that other character from the DLC who's like the medic, and I forget her name, but that was my second choice, which didn't pan out for Geralt. But anyway, I think when I finished The Witcher 3, I got the ending where I didn't end up with anybody. So I am not good at romancing. Let's just get that out of the way.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you have some good choices here. I mean, Liara would have been my pick, even over Padme, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that'd be difficult.
why is that?
I'm just a big Mass Effect fan. Granted, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but like you said, Natalie Portman was a crush of mine when I was growing up too. So, it'd be kind of a hard decision. But you got some good choices there. I mean, Ganon was probably the longest one of them all that you broke down. So.
Yeah, I mean Ganon's tough because I mean, yeah, he's like this big brooding dude, but I mean he's a big brooding dude. Like that's just not gonna fit for me. So
Makes sense to me. All right, well, let's swap back over here. We got more to talk about. That was
Yes,
a lot
we
of fun.
do.
That was a lot of fun.
That was awesome. And you and I started talking about me being a guest on your show a while ago.
Yep.
And when I first heard when I first heard Cheese on episode 1 and he plays Saber Delete, I was like, I want to play that. Like, I have so much to talk about when I come on your show, but I want to play Saber Delete. So, you're whoever I know you mentioned it before, and I'm sorry for forgetting, but
Cheese
please
had the
remind me
idea.
who. Okay, yeah, please
but-
remind me who came up with the ideas, who executed it.
So
'cause-
all of
go
that is built in Unity. It's custom made. It was developed by Sirius Wolf and Princess Buttercloud, who's also in chat. They're both in chat. Helped me gather up all the images, but really it was the two of them that did all the work, and they knocked it out in like a week and a half before the first episode. So they took the concept idea and they built the whole thing within like a week, and it was amazing. And I'll always be forever grateful for their work.
Yeah, and you heard me say it before, less is more, and
Yeah.
like this is a very less is more kind of thing. Like, it's super simple. I think anybody who was a guest on your show can relate to it. It's super easy to use. Like, I just hit left and right. If anything, the problem with this game is me, because I spend too much time talking when I should be swiping. So so that's PEBCAC. But problem exists between keyboard and computer.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's what that means. Okay, just
Yeah.
in case anybody doesn't know what that means. I please, I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but yeah, like super kudos to everybody involved who was part of the inception of this game. It's so fun.
We're really glad that you enjoy it. We have a great group of people here that help me out, and I can't do it without them. And we're definitely gonna add more to that too. So, different options to play.
So that actually makes me want to bring up something.
Go on.
Your community is amazing. Really amazing.
They are.
And you've kept a good community for such a long time. Do you remember the dedication I did to your community?
Yes, actually. Yeah.
Go on.
Wait, this was the one because you did something for my birthday a few years ago.
This wasn't for your birthday.
It wasn't for the birthday. This was something else.
It was to congratulate you on getting partnered.
Yes.
Number one.
That was Thunder Chair.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
I remember.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It was
So I'm
Thunder
sure
Chair.
some people in chat will remember Thunder Chair.
Yep. That was all mine.
So yeah, and that was all me. I was on a plane, thinking, and when I came up with that idea, and I started writing the lyrics on my phone, and I was laughing in my chair, and the person sitting next to me probably thought I was a little strange. But yes, Thunder Chair to this day is actually one of my favorite non-video game music projects because it was all original. Anybody here probably knows that I don't take myself seriously, so I definitely did not take myself seriously in terms of the actual like lyrics and maybe some of the content of the song itself. But I gave it my all in terms of the production, as well as the shooting of the video and putting it together, and of course just trying to communicate to you and your community how awesome you all are. So
well, we appreciate it. So actually, on the current album, obviously, I'm gonna say that this is a joke ahead of time, but if you fast forward in the last song, there's a big gap, and there's a secret song at the end, and it's Thunder Chair. You remember when I think Green Day did that on the Dookie album, and it was a common thing to have like a secret song mixed in with the last song of the album. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah. You know, I actually thought about doing a bonus track just for the CD, but I didn't have time. So
well, you could always add a single after the fact. Your Spotify is fantastic, so.
Yeah. That's and by the way, yes, obviously, you know, we're pushing the CD which is on Bandcamp, but this will be on Spotify eventually. I don't know when. It's going to be it's definitely going to be next month in November.
There you go.
I just don't know when yet. So this will be on Spotify eventually. But yeah, I had that idea of trying to, put a bonus track just for the CD. But I said to myself, like, I want to get this album out by October. Like that's the drop dead month because Halloween, right? And just spooky things.
You did it.
But yeah, I said that already. I got it done. But the other thing about that, that was really good about this was I never felt behind. Like I always feel behind when I'm working on creative stuff. But the thing was that this took me over a year to develop. Like I came up with the original, the third track on the album, Lawrence the First Vicar, was something I did for a compilation for that came out last October. And when I finished it, I said, I want to do a full album. And then I started getting more ideas. I was like, what if I did a concept album where I kind of retell the lore of Bloodborne, which is like so awesome. So, so that's where the development started. There was lots of starts and stops and frustration. But I would say by the time I got to the summer, like it was, and by the time you and I talked around like April, May, things were really starting to come together. And even with the addition of, I mentioned Chris, who came in and did those vocals. By that time I was like, I don't even know if I have time in the schedule for this. But luckily, I actually had a lot of runway, and in which case, like Tara, she just did an amazing job with all her vocals and violin. But we had to go back and forth a couple times. Not a big deal, but it was. I never felt like I was short on time, so it was great, and you totally understand
Yes,
this
I do.
As a project manager.
Makes me
It's
very
like, okay,
happy.
stay on schedule. Oh my god, I got to rush, I got to crash. It's like, no, I never felt that way throughout this whole thing. So yeah, it's also a testament to the people that I work with, especially Eric, because like he had to do the heavy lifting when it came to just telling me, give me mixed feedback and doing the mastering. Like he's always been awesome to work with, and everybody was just super prompt. Like, I'd say, hey, I need this by then. I would build some wiggle room in there. So I can geek out about scheduling and project management all day, but that's not the sexiest.
We'll have to have another show just on that. Because you and I could talk
So,
about that for a long time.
There's a question in the chat. Is it possible to mix left and right audio channels in a way that it gets hidden when you play it in mono? I wonder if it's possible to hide an extra song that way. That's a good question. I don't know. If I were probably a more experienced mixer, I could answer that question. But one thing I do know is if you're not careful in certain situations, if you could, you have a song, you're mixing a song in stereo, and if you switch it to mono, like sometimes stuff will disappear. Like I had that happen once. I was recording not this project, but another one where I was my lead guitar just disappeared. Like I put it in mono and the lead guitar disappeared. So like
Wow.
then I was like, something's really wrong. So I had to go back and fix it, which I did. So I've heard tracks disappear when you go in mono. An entire song, not so sure. But that's a good question.
It's interesting.
Okay. Oh, Mick Gordon did in the title. Yeah, Mick Gordon's a freaking genius.
Okay,
So,
there you go.
yeah. Yeah, he's like a god. I'm basically whatever the lower. Yeah, he's Nightmare. I'm Don't Hurt Me. Whatever that low level difficulty is of Doom.
Well, the question I had is, do you have any other events coming up that for the album as a whole? Anything that you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. So I'm touring the world next year. From Software is sponsoring me, and I'm going to have an entire orchestra behind me as I perform
Oh,
this
that would
entire
be
album
amazing.
from start to no.
So I'll
That's
be
the dream.
backstage, and you'll have me front row every show, right? And you're flying me around everywhere, private jet. That's what we
Hey,
have.
if you
want to
play drums, like if you get your blast beats up to speed, you can play drums.
I get my double bass pedal up to speed too. Yeah, that's
Yeah. So that's something that I've dreamed of. But we'll get real. So the next month, which is and I lost my calendar. I believe it's November 18th, 19th, and 20th. There is going to be an event called Bonus Stage Ultimate. So there's a channel on Twitch called Bonus Stage, and for those of you who follow me on social media or will follow me on social media, can keep posted about this as I announce it. But I'm definitely slotted to play a full set of my music on that show. We just don't know when yet, what day or what time is going to be worked out between now and then. But I'm super excited. Obviously, the tech that I brought for today's live performance is going to be a part of it. But that'll be the first time that I play a full set of songs out of my own catalog for people, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope next year, but nothing has panned out yet. Hope next year sometime at some event, I get to play in front of people live. And I got to start somewhere.
you got
and,
Magfest coming up.
Yeah, Magfest. I didn't apply to perform at Magfest. Maybe for 2023, I'll apply to play at Magfest. So I feel like now I've got enough there to where I could apply to play at Magfest. But earlier this year when applications were open, it was kind of an open question whether Magfest was going to happen.
True.
So yes, I will be at Magfest, by the way. So if anybody is going to Magfest, I never miss it. So just ping me and let me know, and I'm more than glad to chat with anybody.
I unfortunately will not see you there this year for the first time since I moved.
Totally understandable. Obviously, it's a longer haul for you,
and it's more expensive than ever before. Felt like I could just drive home every single day.
Yeah, just the passes themselves are more expensive,
Exactly.
but I mean, I never miss a MagFest. I'm super excited to go. I'll definitely get to reconnect with some people that I haven't seen in a while. That's another big part of it too. Especially, and you know this as well as I do. When you go to conventions or festivals, it's really just more like hanging out with people and
That's
just
why I go.
having a good time.
If the people
So
are there, then it's worth the trip. Which, it would be worth the trip, to be fair. But with
yeah,
circumstances ongoing, logical decision is to stay put.
yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
one thing. I don't know. I didn't tell you this,
Mm.
but it hasn't got here yet, and I wish it would have arrived here for the performance, but I have a Bloodborne hunter costume on the way,
They
and
have those?
they have those. Uh, it will hopefully be here soon, and hopefully by the time I get to Magfest, I will have it, and I
All
will
right,
I will be
lots
donning
of
that the
pictures,
entire
please.
weekend.
Lots of
Yes,
pictures.
yes. So I'm really hoping it shows up for the bonus stage performance because I'll put it on for that. But yeah, I mean, obviously for the bonus stage performance, I'll be playing the stuff off of the Old Blood, the new album. But there's definitely some stuff back. Maybe Storms will end up as part of that set list. What do you think, Thunder? Should I put that on there?
Yes, that's a like
Okay.
that's a rhetorical
Cool.
question.
All right, we're gonna write this down. Okay, Storms for Thundy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you for that, my friend. That'd be great. It's actually to this day, I think it's the only album I've ever been on ever. So thank you again for including me on that. That was so much fun to record. And then, believe it or not, about this song, with Storm specifically, and I'm sure you remember this, when we were recording it in that very room, we were talking about the fact that those floor protectors that everybody has in the office.
Oh,
Yeah, you
I
know what
know
I'm
where you're
talking
going with
about.
this. Yes. Go.
And when you shake them, it sounds like thunder. So I said, how would it work if we were going to just use it for the album? And then 2 seconds later, without even really ever blinking, he's like, pick it up, get it, use it. And then he went upstairs, and I just was working out. He gave me his sunglasses, and you can see it in the YouTube exclamation point Storms will show it in chat. But right at the end of the album, it's me shaking the floor protector with the sunglasses, and it just fed in beautifully with the song. You can't tell, and in fact, you wouldn't even know unless you watch the video. But it's in the song of me shaking a piece of furniture at the end of the the song on track 3.
Yeah,
It was really great.
I'm sure everybody here has heard the song, and there's a thunderclap at the end, like almost at the very end, as the song fades out, and that as part of that thunderclap is Thunder shaking that chair protector,
Yeah.
and the not now when we were practicing, and it's also like kind of in the outtake at the very end where like you're kind of shaking it and we're listening to it on the headphones and the monitors, like hearing what it sounds like. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was like, wait, hold my beer. And I start putting reverb and I start boosting the bass on it, and then it just becomes like this real thundering thing, and I was like, this is going into the song. So
And it worked really,
like I
really
said,
well.
yeah, and I brought out that toy xylophone glockenspiel thing. Like there's no boundaries to your creativity, and sometimes those things just happen.
Yep. And the funny thing is, we spent more time working out that chair protector than I think we did even putting together Storms in 7 years in the first place. At least my part. I spent, because it's music that I played forever. And we did some other outtakes. You just put me on the set, and we were playing other Zelda music, which didn't make anything, but they're still there. We talked about doing an entire Zelda album. We had so much stuff that we could have done.
I remember like we put on Lon Lon Ranch from Ocarina of Time, which is just it's a simple waltz like 3/4, but you're just jamming along, and then we put on I think we put on Gerudo Valley, and you started jamming it.
That was my favorite. I still remember what I played for that. I have the video somewhere. Maybe we'll play it later on stream, but it's very good.
Yeah. I probably have the video somewhere too, but I again, like that's just us being idiots.
Once I get a drum set here,
like music is so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. Like when you came in and you knocked out Storms in 7 years in like a few takes. I think we were done with both like in less than an hour.
Yep.
And then we just spent the other time like just like messing around and then the chair protector thing. So
and that was on a drum set you had picked up from I don't know, remember how you got it. But
I bought it from some guy locally off of Facebook, and I still have it. But
with the computer program, you can make it sound like any other drum set.
Yeah, it's like my studio drum set, so to speak. It's not an acoustic set, it's electronic, but I mean that was one thing you liked about it. I was like, you start playing with it, I was like, oh, that's a cool sound. I was like, wait, here, let me switch this. So I switched the drums in the software, and like the snare gets really fat, and the kick
Yep.
like just gets thunderous. I was like, oh, and you were just like going to town after that. So
Well, you can relate to this as a musician. You can play the same song, and then when you change the effects of what the instrument does, it gives you so many other ideas that it just leads to one thing and then to another and to another and another. And it's just I could have stayed in that studio forever, and I really miss playing. It's been such a. If it wasn't for the fact that I had the stream, I would be so overly depressed not having something to do because drumming was everything, and I can't do it right now because of the noise.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the only thing you could potentially do is play an electronic set, but it's not the same.
it's well,
So
it could be. The problem is that even if it's an a electric set, they'll still hear the tapping
yeah,
somewhere else. So I would just have to
yeah,
suck it up and
yeah.
just, I'll deal with the complaints at that point.
Yeah, so I hope one day you can get into it
I hope so.
again,
We can add that to the stream
because
and we can start doing
look,
stuff together again.
I feel I'll just say it, but I feel like people like you and I may be a dying breed. Like I don't know a lot of people who play guitar aside from the friends that I already have, and drummers are hard to find. Like when you moved away, I was like, I have two friends that can play drums. Then another
Don't
one
do
of them
this
moved
to
away.
me.
So I was like, I have one friend left who can play drums, and he's already in a band. So it's like he and I ain't playing together anytime soon.
Well, that's why it'd be so great if we can do music together virtually. Or, I mean, again, when COVID's done, we just travel,
Yeah, yeah.
But
We're gonna figure that out.
we'll
Someday,
figure it
my
out.
friend.
We'll
We're
figure it
gonna
out.
figure it out. There's a lot of untapped potential, and there's so many projects that I've shelved over the past few years. Like I have like I actually I'll let this out there. I have like an entire album like just sitting on the shelf, but
Really?
I need participation from one of my other good friends who would be it was pretty much his idea like to come up with that album idea. Like I need him, and he plays drums, he does vocals, but he is just not available to do any of that right now. So like that's been sitting on the shelf for a long time. So of course I won't disclose what it is because you may find out one day when it actually happens. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's going back to your question about like what's next. I kind of talked about that. Like I already know like what my next project is going to be. It's not going to be a full album, but it's definitely something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But I have always hesitated to do it because like I wanted to get my abilities up to where I feel like I could do justice to the source material. And I feel like I've done it with Bloodborne, so now I'm ready to take the next step on this next project. So I'm going to stop there. I don't want to spoil it. So that's going to go into 2022 once I kind of finish the talk show and live circuit.
I'm excited to hear it. I mean, I'm sure everybody in chat would be excited to hear it too, because the song that you played was outstanding. Which, again, by the way, last chance, we're gonna pull the winner here in I think about a minute or so. Exclamation point MAHN Mahn for a chance to win a copy of the album. When you get the album, you also get the digital album too. So Mahn will reach out to you and
We're
hook
giving
you
away
up.
two.
Two
Giving away
winners.
two.
So we'll give it another 60 seconds. We'll stop the giveaway and I'll pull them here.
Yeah, so I think probably most people are in, but just in case you've just shown up, this is the album that I just
wait, hold on.
put out
There we go.
the Old Blood, a Bloodborne concept album. It's about an hour of runtime. As you can see, the art is just crazy good. So that's the inside along with the CD itself and the back cover. So yeah, if you want to get in the giveaway, I can see the links in the chat for you to participate. So yeah, whoever gets this or whether you pick it up off of Bandcamp, just go to theoldblood.com. No matter what, I hope you enjoy it. Obviously, the song I played for you all today was just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm so happy to hear you say, Thunder, that you felt like every song was great. And
It really,
like,
really was.
I felt that way, but I was like, let's let other people listen to this and see what they say.
It was
So
very, very, very good, and it shows. And I'm not just saying that because we've been good friends for a long time, which honestly, I mean, I would anyway. But it's super good. It's very, very good. And just a reminder for those that might watch the VOD later on, this is going to be on YouTube by Monday. It's gonna be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor FM, and the song that he played was Cleric Beast, 7th song off the album The Old Blood. And thank you so much for performing it.
Yeah, I was super happy to do it, and I remember when we started planning for this, I was like, music performance? Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Music
yes.
performance? Yes.
Yes.
And you were like, yes, and I was like, all right, yes, let's go. So yeah, it was it was fun putting together all the tech and obviously going through all the rehearsals and performing it for you guys. So obviously, I will go back and watch and probably nitpick every little thing that was a part of that performance. But yeah,
Good.
that's just how obsessive I am.
When you do that, your next album will be even better, which I don't see how that's possible. But it's there you go.
This is a high bar. So oh man, what am I gonna do?
You stood on your tippy toes to set this bar. This was good. So we're gonna close the giveaway here in just 30 seconds. Exclamation point Mahn, MAHN, and we'll choose 2 winners, and Mahn will end up reaching out to you. Obviously, our storm trackers can help you reach out to people if you have any difficulties, and we'll get them set up.
Okay.
And yeah. So one thing that
okay. Yeah.
I'm
just seeing people get into the giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody get in the giveaway. If you're here, if you just got here, get in the giveaway.
Absolutely.
Again, if you just showed up, we're giving away 2 of these.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. One of the cooler things that Mon and I did together, because we have about like 5-10 minutes left before the show's over, but we did a challenge run together, didn't we? We did Dark Souls 3, 2 players, 1 controller. I was on the right side of the controller. You were on the left side of the controller, and we completed all bosses for the base game. Because we didn't do any of the DLCs.
Correct. We didn't do the DLC. I don't remember if the DLC was out then.
The first one was, but the second one wasn't yet.
Oh, the Ring. Yeah, the Ring City
wasn't out yet.
Thing.
It just shows
so
how
we
old
didn't do
were.
the DLC, but we did the main game. We did every boss in the main game. Though.
Correct. And when we took down Pontiff, there are gifs of us, but you just going like this super high. The way we set it up is we had me on one corner, you on the other, which looked ridiculously goofy because we were high-fiving each other from across the screen. It was hysterical. Yeah. But Mom was just like this. And it was just really, really funny. And yeah, there's the run right there.
That was a
Quirky put together the death compilation for us. That's all of our deaths. And she rated the deaths. They were great. So that was really good.
Super fun. And I think if I remember, it took 5 or 6 sessions to do that. So I came over once a week.
Yes.
And we worked on it. And I mean, for a challenge run like that, I think that's pretty good. And the thing was, like, we definitely got stuck in a few areas. Like Pontiff was one, because like that's probably the first. Nameless King was another big hump to get over.
That's why I got that display.
That was another big moment of triumph. I think in the last boss, we actually did pretty good.
We did. And do you remember why we started doing better? And this is why this conversation might be one of the good things to end on. And here, let's pick the winners first.
Okay, let's pick the winner, and then we'll come back to this. Sorry,
absolutely.
we've been off on a
first winner,
off on a tangent. All right,
Trendy. Congratulations, winning a copy of the album. And the next one, Prin, winning the other call. She's gonna freak out.
Oh, Prin. Well, she's
gonna freak out.
I mean, she just said before that she keeps her CD permanently, and probably one of my older CDs permanently in her car. So now she gets another one.
There you go.
So
she's gonna freak.
Yeah, let me make sure I just copy. Yeah, rigged. Let me make sure I get everybody's names.
So my friends, what we're gonna do is towards the middle of the month, I'm gonna talk to Mon, and I'm probably gonna end up buying another 2 or 3 albums, and we're gonna do another giveaway. I'm going to buy them. We'll get copies, and I'll send them out to you all. So we'll work on that too. So if you didn't win one now, you might have another chance in November.
Okay, so Trendy and Prin, I will reach out to you probably via Twitch Whisper, and we will work out the details of how to get your physical album. And yes, because you're not getting it off Bandcamp, I will figure out how to get you a digital copy. So congratulations.
There you go. So this is where getting the challenge run that we did, linking with this album, this whole conversation kind of comes together right now. And it's funny that we're able to have this talk now, like 5 years later after we did the challenge run, or however long it was. But music in games affects how you perform, especially with challenge runs. but we started doing better in the fights when we took the music out of the fight. We turned it off because you and I are we would attack in time because the music was so good. And as soon as we took that out of the equation, we knocked out these bosses like they were nothing because we loved the soundtrack. So, and that's why when I did Fallen Order, I took the music out besides DMCA stuff, but that's a whole other conversation. Well, as soon as you took the music out, it just allows you to focus on the skill aspect of the game, and we didn't have any issues anymore. So I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that was that broke the logjam. I do remember. I don't remember when we started doing that exactly.
Nameless King.
I think we still. It was Nameless King.
Yep.
I do remember. I think for Pontiff we kept the music on.
Pontiff we were
eventually
fine.
Triumphed.
Yep.
Yeah, but Nameless King is a tough boss, and then compound that with two people sharing one controller. So.
And I never thought it was that difficult. I always thought Pontiff was harder than Nameless King, in my opinion, and we just had issues with it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was super super fun, and I mean, one of the other things that we'll have to try to figure out is like what we're gonna jam together someday. We'll work on a music project together one day.
Absolutely.
What kind of goofy gaming things are we gonna do?
Oh
so
gosh, the amount of I'm looking around the room and I see so much inspiration. Mass Effect. There could be an album where you have every song is a different game. You ever listen to Game Chops before? You know about them?
No, you'll have to enlighten me.
So Game Chops is, I don't remember, we listened to it a lot. You can actually stream all their music. There's no issues, all in agreement. But there's tons of music on there from like covers of Pokemon and Zelda and everything else. And I'll share them with you. But maybe it's something that you'd be able to do with them. I don't know. We figure it out. But
yeah.
It's royalty-free game music available to everyone. It's on Spotify. It's fantastic.
It's kind of like Pretzel.
I mean, they have all their music's on Spotify, but they do some really 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 good work. It's really great music. A lot of it's chill, relaxed stuff, but I haven't seen anything rock wise. They have some like Black Hole said, amazing lo-fi playlist. It's very very good.
I would hope that for this album especially, that even if you aren't into metal, that you get something out of it. It's very dark and brooding, and it gets really heavy. And I say we because it was me and all the guest musicians. We dial it back a little bit for a couple songs, like with the one with the xylophone in it. And anybody who's played Bloodborne knows Gehrman, the first hunter, that like almost the last boss fight, which is such an amazing song. And like that one, I definitely kind of dialed it back. It's like, this is a sad song and, that kind of stuff. So I would hope that it, especially for the people who won the giveaway or you pick up the album otherwise, even if you're not into metal, that you enjoy it.
I think they will. I've never been a ridiculous metal fan. I mean, I was always like 70s rock, Boston, REO Speedwagon, that kind of thing. But when you have a friend that is as talented as you are when it comes to this music, you just get used to that kind of music, and I have. So that's I guess that's my thanks to you, because I've never really gotten into this kind of music. I mean, granted, I listened to Nightwish when I was in college a little bit, but that's probably the closest I ever came. I saw Judas Priest and all them in concert live when I was in Kentucky. All these music shows that I go to, but it was never really my thing. This kind of stuff that you're doing, unbelievable. Plus, it's Bloodborne. No, I love Bloodborne, and that's pretty easy.
How can you not?
Well, that's just it. So Bloodborne 2 is coming out when?
Oh, let's not go there.
That would be amazing.
That may be some salt in the wound, actually. It's like, one, you're like, there's always the rumor mill, but then like there's also the rumor mill is like, if there's the second Bloodborne is not going to be done by the same people, in which case I'm not interested.
No,
like,
of course not.
Just leave it alone. Like just take Bloodborne, make it available on PC, and make it available on PS5, 60 frames per second,
that's the
4K.
key. Yep.
That's all you got to do. Don't touch the game. Like that's it.
It doesn't even need a remaster because it's still fairly new. There's no reason to.
Yeah, like you don't need to remaster it. Just port it so it runs at 60 frames per second. Like, that's all I want.
It's just got to be smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think I was going to like it as much. And this is the other thing that we did. When Mahn and I, or our friendship was really right at the beginning, we went to that Soulsborne convention, the talk at TwitchCon. It was 2017.
I remember this, yes.
And we sat, and I had never played a Soulsborne game at that point. It was after I sat next to you and I don't remember who was on the panel. Hub might have been on the panel, for I remember. I don't
remember
know.
Lobos. I think Lobos was
Was on the
it,
panel,
so,
right? He was moderating it, but that was the first time I ever heard about the Soulsborne games, and everybody says Bloodborne was the best one. Bloodborne was the best one. It wasn't until last year when I played it for the first time, and I see why.
Yeah. So, it's. I said to myself, like, if I was going to do this project, I have to give it my all, live up to the source material.
You did.
And I think I did it.
You've
So I'll
definitely
pat
did.
myself on the back for that one.
You should. You definitely should. Well, I think it's about that time where we might have to say goodbye.
Which makes me sad.
It does. It does.
But I mean, hey, you and I will talk offline, and
absolutely,
I would love to come back.
Oh, we'd luck. See, that makes me happy. The fact that you would want to come back and that you're not sick of me after an hour, that's a good thing.
I will play the hell out of Saber Elite. Like, just make it 10 minutes and put like 10,000 characters in there, and I will just go.
Well, there you go.
But then, hey, by then I should have some new stuff out. Hopefully, barring any unforeseen circumstances. But by then, maybe I'll have some new music to share, and I'd
if
be glad
not,
to come back and talk about it.
We'd want to hear anything anyway. Even from any album.
I'm humbled just to hear you say that.
It wouldn't matter to me. Maybe Mahn plays Storms live or something like. I mean, I don't know. We figure it out.
Yeah.
It'd be very simple to do, I'm sure. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really great. I had trained.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for everybody in the chat for showing up. Thanks for all the energy during the conversation. Thanks for the energy, especially during the performance. Congratulations to the people who won the giveaways. So Print, I think Print left, but Print and Trendy, I will reach out to you tomorrow to work out the details of getting your CDs to you. Thank you again, Thunder. Please keep doing this show. You obviously put your heart and soul into it. And again, I will just reiterate again that you and I work hard at this stuff. And I'm just humbled to be a part of it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. So the reason why I said we might mention Super Anthony later on is because at the end of every show, I like to tell everybody who our next guest is. And for the first time, we're going to have back-to-back shows because the holiday season's coming up. So Super Anthony will actually be our next guest in a week. November 6th, we're going to have Super Anthony on, and we're going to have a lot to talk about. I'm gonna leave it at that because it might be more of a structured show, even more so than this one was, believe it or not. But very nice guy to talk to. I've known him for a couple of years now, and yeah, that'll be a really good show. But Mahn's episode will be live on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcast Monday at 11 a.m. And yeah, you'll be able to see everything in case you missed it, or in case you want to watch his live performance 20,000 times in a row. I might be doing that.
I will be.
You definitely will be. No one's surprised by that. But a big shout out to my good friend Mahn, who I've known for so many years at this point. I cherish our friendship. I appreciate you being here, and it's definitely been kind of tough, the fact that we're so many states away now. But thank you again for inviting me over to your home and for the barbecue and all that. That was a ton of fun. Appreciate that, and we'll definitely chat soon.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, man.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.